a board meeting. If I could ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act, has been provided by action of the Board of Education on January 3rd, 2019. Notice has been provided to the two newspapers circulating the school district and a posted notice to this effect on the Board of Education Building Bulletin Board, Administrative Headquarters, 51 West Cliff Street, Somerville, New Jersey. May I have roll call, Mr. Quist?
Yes, Ms. Matthews is absent. Mr. Carlson. Here. Mrs. Olson. Here. Mr. Pontillo. Here. Dr. Sadie.
Here.
Mrs. Schweitzer.
Here.
Mrs. Van Horn.
Here.
Mr. Sergio. Let's go, Bill. Present. Mr. Jess. Here. Mrs. Fabrizi.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, we are open for public comment on agenda items only. Michelle. All right, may we have a motion to close the public comment, please? Thank you, Ms. Olson. May I have a second? Second. Mr. Shield, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So at this time, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes held on April 30th for both regular and executive session, and May 14th for both regular and executive session. Motion. Thank you, Mr. Shield. Have a second? Thank you, Mrs. Olson. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. Thank you. Moving on to Board President's report. I'd like to offer on behalf of the board our condolences to the following people who've lost a member of their family over the past month. Maureen Duffy lost her aunt. Dawn Evans lost her aunt. Sandy Catanero lost her grandfather. Joseph D'Alessandro lost his cousin. Sarah Jenke, her grandmother. Janet Jacobson, her mother. Diane Howarth Sobey, her aunt. And Walgreen Dominski, her father. Our condolences go with you. And because we'd like to try to change up a little bit, we'd like to offer our congratulations to the Melasergo family on the birth of their baby. So congratulations, that's awesome. That's it. Dr. T.
So tonight we have a couple of different performances and presentations. The first one will be our Somerville High School Strings Club. We're going to be here to play a couple of numbers for you. So turn it over.
Hi, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Regina Santangelo. I am the Director of String Orchestras at Branch Brick Middle School and also have started up this Somerville Strings Club. They currently meet at 6:15 in the morning once a week and have been meeting since October. So they're a dedicated group of students, and we'll start off by playing for you Telemon Symphonia from Paraphrase from Trio in A minor by George Philip Telemann. facility in Meriden, right off of the Somerville Circle. So if you would like to hear more of our pieces, come join us there. Thank you.
Regina, would you mind introducing the members of the ensemble?
Sorry, what?
Would you mind introducing all the members of the ensemble? But before you do, I just want to also just note that Regina and I spoke last summer about this project that she was putting together in Branchburg. And I guess I've playing the violin for 20 years, although I haven't been playing more than I have at this point in my life. I believe in classical music. I love classical music because the hits last so much longer. I'm finally happy that we were able to put this together, and those were two fantastic pieces. But I do have a question. When it comes to these classical arrangements, you have multiple instruments, and obviously some instruments, like the violin, can be more popular than others, say, like the cello, the bass, or the viola. So how hard is it, or easy is it to find those students to play those particular roles?
Well, right now we're sort of going off of the students who've learned these pieces in elementary and middle school, and we're pretty lucky that we have a pretty evenly distributed orchestra. Currently, right now, my first bass players are in 7th grade, so hoping that this can continue, we would then, in a couple years, have some bass players in the group as well. With the schedule right now, it's just a morning club, so there's not time to teach new instruments, so it's sort of whatever experience these guys have.
6:15 in the morning sounds kind of late.
Yeah, they get to sleep in on Fridays, it doesn't.
So, and by all means, if you could introduce the members of the ensemble.
Sure, I just, okay, so Rowan Moss, 9th grade, cello player. Hannah Tigradi, 10th grade, cello player. Robbie Kramer, 12th grade, cello player. Jeffrey Lynn, sorry, 11th grade, cello player. Jackie Salvato, 9th grade violist. Ranjit Singh, 9th grade violist. Paris Mazzuti, 9th grade violist. Jill Scott, 12th grade viola player. Over here. Chris MacArthur, 9th grade violin player. Luke Cosentino, 10th grade violin player. Danielle Chong, 9th grade violin player. And Caitlin Haynes, 9th grade violin player.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next up, we have a presentation for an Eagle Scout project. It was actually done in the middle school. So Michael, there you are. And I think Melissa is going to help the kids out there.
I'll just take a second to introduce myself while this is loading. My name's Michael Browan. I'm one of the Boy Scouts from Troop 83 up in Somerville. Pretty important to mention that because we're a small troop, but we're growing in size, so that's good. So I'm here today to talk about my Eagle Scout project. I did this about a year ago, so it might be a little fuzzy on some of the details, but I think we should be good. So what I did, if you came in at the front of the school, there's an arbor there. That's what I built last year. Used pressurized wood, and I sanded and stained it, and put it together there. Okay, so there's the arbor, in case you didn't see it. It's right in the center of the courtyard there. Yep. So this is when we sanded and stained the wood. Did this in my driveway. Really the reason we stained it first and sanded it first was because if we did that after we built the arbor, it would have been much more of a mess. We would have stained all over the grass. It would have been splattering everywhere. It would have been a real bad time if we did it that way. So the best way was just to stain it first, then we'll cut it down, then stain it first, then put it together. So that was the the first step, and as you can see, I had the other scouts in my troop helping me out here, as well as my parents. So this is when we started to put it together. The scouts are also helping me here. I also had some students from middle school come to help me out, so it was pretty nice to have. This is where we were just starting to find a place where to put it, because the way we built it, we had these 4 main beams, and if we were off on those, off on the measurements, the whole arbor would have just been weird looking, because like I said, those are the main beams, and I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory there, but I'll just, I guess I'll point that out in the pictures. But this was really the first stage, getting the wood situated and finding a place for it. The next part was when we started to put it together. As you can see, this is on the picture on the left. We already have the pots put together, the planter pots on the side. We put in. The reason those are there is so we could have plants running up the side of the arbor, which right now we don't, but we might be able to in the future. We do have plants around the arbor that are growing, so that's good. But besides being a place for the plants, the pots, the amount of dirt in them also helps to weigh down the arbor and keep it from being pushed over, besides just the 4 main beams that keep it on the ground. In the picture on the right, you can see me and one of the other scouts started to put together the top part of the arbor. So here's some more pictures of what I was just describing. Putting together the sides of the arbor and the top of the arbor using the ladder. So here's the before and after picture. As you can see on the left, it's pretty barren in the courtyard. After the arbor is there, it's almost nighttime, so it took us a while to put this up, even though the wood stained pretty sandy. So just to conclude, I think it's important to mention and to thank the scouts from my troop, also some of the students that helped me, especially Mr. Petronko, Ms. Folgeris. They really helped me get it all organized and situated and knowing what I couldn't do. Mr. Petronko also was there to help me out that day, so it was big help. And this is my brother's graduation class of 2022. I had them come outside to take some pictures with it, and it was pretty good. Everyone was happy the arbor was there. It was a good backdrop for photos. Yeah, so now that this is over, that's the last slide. So I'll take questions now. And actually, one more thing. I have this plaque that I was going to put on the arbor. It reads, dedicated to the students and staff of Somerville Middle School, has my name on it, the troop, Troop 83, and it just says Eagle Scout Project. So that's pretty much it. Now I'll take questions.
Well, before I ask my question, I'm just going to... The last slide pretty much took away my second question, so I'll speak to that after. But from listening to your presentation, so forgive me if I'm asking this twice, what inspired you to choose this plot to build this arbor?
Well, first of all, one of the guidance counselors up in the high school, when Spencer Cruz was building his project, I don't remember exactly who it is. To whoever that is, I'm sorry about that. But when Spencer was building his, she came up to me and she said, well, someone at the middle school, I think it was Miss Ireland, was saying that they were thinking about building an arbor, but I don't think they really had the time or the resources to do it. So it would have been a good opportunity for an Eagle project. And I mean, really, when I was in the middle school, we never really did anything out in the courtyard. So I thought it could be a good opportunity for an outdoor classroom or just like that.
Great.
Yes?
Where did you get the funding for materials?
So some of it was out of pocket, but I did get a big amount from the pre-K to 8 PTO. So that was pretty generous of them. Any other questions?
Since there aren't more questions, I'll make one last comment. say I've known Michael for quite some time now, and the family, they're such a wonderful family. What he did is highlighting just another way that our local organizations like Troop 83 and Troop 84 are rebuilding the facades for all of our schools. And B, that's a very nice touch with the Times, and I want to commend you for it. And last but not least, to comment on that slide, one of the most immediate effects after completing that project was witnessing the 2018 graduation, because you will not believe how many people were taking their pictures with that arbor in the background. So, and if you don't believe me, just watch the 2019 graduation where they take all the pictures. So that project had an immediate and a long-lasting impact. And Michael completed the one thing last month that only 3% of scouts do in this country, which is achieve the Eagle rank. And how far it's going to take you and the other Eagle Scouts in the future is boundless. So thank you again.
Okay, next we're going to move on to the 2018-19 Teacher of the Year and Educational Support Specialist of the Year recognition. So I guess we'll start with Mr. Foley at the high school.
I'm going to have Mr. Nate go first. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us tonight. Let me congratulate June Adams, as well as the Educational Specialist of the Year that Mr. Foley will introduce momentarily. But I'm extremely excited to be able to introduce our Teacher of the Year this year, which is Mr. David Damashki. For those of you that may not remember, last year the math program was fortunate enough to also have the Educational Specialist of the Year, Dr. Ellen Stein, and to follow it up with the Teacher of the Year, Mr. Damashki, is truly something special. And it is truly a testament to the work that he and every other staff member at MAPS does day in and day out, and the impact that they are making on the students through that program. With that, it's kind of ironic because I prepared my remarks for tonight about dating long ago, and it truly connects to what we'll present later in the evening about our MAPS update and how the two interconnect. So let me just read some of my remarks about dating for you. Mr. David Damashki. Mr. D demonstrates incredible talent as a teacher as he crafts his message to the whole child and not just subject-related content. His ability to develop and deliver instruction that is individualized to his students captivates his audience and is paramount to everyone's success. Through his approach that focuses on the whole child, he's able to present clear, organized, and meaningful lessons that address the social and emotional aspects of development with the same level of care as academics. He believes that before teaching and learning can occur, a student must know that the teacher is invested and genuinely cares for their well-being inside and outside of the classroom. He feels strongly that providing a whole child educational experience for students is critical to their long-term personal growth and ultimate success. He simply possesses that intangible it that draws students to him, whom crave his guidance and support. His genuine care and compassion defines him and identifies him as a respected teacher, worthy and a worthy recipient of this year's Teacher of the Year.
Good evening, everybody. I am now here to introduce our Educational Service Professional of the Year, Ms. June Adams. You can stand by me. The selection of June Adams as our Educational Service Professional of the Year is a testament to her outstanding service of 20 years to our school community. During this time, she has created a collaborative learning environment where students feel comfortable to ask questions and share opinions. Mrs. Adams is a kind, dedicated professional who always shows respect and support of her students and of her colleagues. A few months back when we did this, in response to her selection as Educational Service Professional of the Year, Mrs. Adams stated, and I'm going to read the following, a quote from her. As the Media Center Specialist, my teaching philosophy is to motivate and assist each student in developing their own potential and learning style. Every day, I bring an open mind, positive attitude, and high expectations to the library. I believe that I owe it to our students and teachers, as well as the administrators, to bring consistency, diligence, and warmth to my job in the hope that I can encourage these traits in our students as well. In order for students to reach their fullest potential, I also take the time to connect with every student on a personal level and hold them to my expectations. I have created a safe, comfortable, and welcoming library community where students feel important and can learn without fear of failure. Did I say?
For the middle school, we have Mrs. Caruso is going to introduce the two from that building. There you go.
All right, I'm excited to introduce Mrs. Sobey. So you can enter her. Mrs. Sobey is the middle school's Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Sobey has dedicated 27 years to the teaching profession, 21 of which have been in Somerville. She began as an elementary teacher, then transitioned to a 7th grade math teacher. She also serves as a 7th grade team leader. Mrs. Sobey continues to build and maintain a classroom environment that focuses on supporting the whole child. She consistently collaborates with colleagues, parents, and guardians to ensure that every child is receiving the necessary individualized support. Mrs. Sobey's decisions are always made based on the best interest of each child. Congratulations and thank you for all that you do. All right, up next, I'm excited to introduce Ms. Mahoney. She is the educational services professional in the middle school this year. Coincidentally, Ms. Mahoney has also been in education for 27 years. She currently serves as school psychologist on the child study team. Ms. Mahoney is a valuable resource for the entire school community and consistently and passionately advocates for our students. She collaborates with all stakeholders to develop and oversee the implementation of individualized plans for students. Ms. Mahoney is proactive in seeking out resources for teachers to use in the classroom. Congratulations, and thank you so much for all your hard work.
Right, next up for advanced year, we have Mr. Reevy, and I think he's going to start with 3 to 5. Sure, working our way down.
Reading purposes only. I would like to call up Ms. Christine Birnbaum. Come on up. Christine is our literacy coach at Vanderveer, and this is her 5th year at Vanderveer in a 20-year teaching career. You're welcome. All right, Christine. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Going off script. Now, Christine, I just said, Christine has a job, needless to say, at Vanderveer that takes her all around the building. And when you hear words throughout the day like, where's Mrs. Birnbaum? Right here. Where's Mrs. Birnbaum? Right here. Coming out of different classrooms in all 5 different wings that we have in school. She really is everywhere. And that's not just because she's real quick on her feet. It's because the needs of all the students, they're just not in one room. And Christine does her best to get to all those students and fulfill all those needs. It is not an easy job, and this award is so fitting for all the support that you give our students and our staff. And I just want to say thank you for everything that you do. Congratulations. Next up for our 3 to 5 Educator of the Year, Ella McNanny. Congratulations. We're going to go with this. Ella McNanny for formal, but she goes by Maggie at school, so Maggie it is. Maggie came to us as she's a resource room teacher at Vanderveer for the last 3 years, but she began her career as a Fulbright English teacher assistant for students in grades preschool through 6th grade in South Korea. How does that work at Vanderveer? Awesome, because everything is adaptable at Vanderveer. You don't know who, you don't know which student is coming into your classroom, although you know their name, you just don't know which version of that student will be there in the classroom. And as all of us educators know, you have to be, pretty quick on your feet and adapt. And Maggie does that very well. Words that are used to describe Mrs. McNanny: passionate, generous, organized, resourceful, and flexible. Her willingness to assist with any supported role in the school has really assisted me as a principal and all the other teachers too, because not only her skills in the special education area, but those skills transfer to the regular education classroom. And Maggie serves as an integral role in our teacher leader program and continues to support every student in every different assignment that we give her over the past 3 years. So congratulations, Maggie. Thank you. I'm also going to be introducing the award winners for the pre-K to 2. Starting with our educational services professional, Mrs. Claudia Allen. If you can please come up. Claudia serves as an instructional assistant at Vanderveer School and has for 10 years. Currently, she's in the role of supporting the students in the pre-K ABA class, which, to give you a little taste of what that day looks like. Claudia comes to work, I see her through the halls. Her first questions are, where do you need me? Who needs help? On a daily basis. That's how Claudia approaches her job. That's how she approaches education. She knows what to do, she knows when to do it, and she knows that she's available to us and assist whenever she can. In her classroom, and I'm just picturing the train of students walking down the hall, it's not just classroom education, it's life skills. And it's skills that we sometimes take for granted. And when Claudia is there, kneeling over, picking up a student, helping them walk, helping them talk, helping them sign, hello, eye contact, these skills that you see these students year after year, they're doing them. And they all started under your direction and your support. So thank you for accomplishing everything you have, and I appreciate everything that you do for our school. For our Teacher of the Year from preschool to 2, Mrs. Patty Helwig. Patty has served as an educator for 21 years and in vocal music at K-5 for the past 7 years. Words to describe Patty: kind, patient, resilient, cool, and a risk taker. Patty gives a musical voice to everyone in her classroom by sharing her love for music combined with her talent for teaching. Patty does a lot, vocal music instructor is her title, but when you have somebody with such care, determination, coolness, in a community that she lives in, socializes in, and is around, well, pretty much her life, you get the benefit of a citizen teacher. What I mean by that is, and Patty, I'm going to quote you directly, Patty believes in educators who know the importance of community and serve as model citizens. Patty does this on a regular basis, from her performances on the grand stages of Patriot Stadium to the courthouse, the tree-lighting ceremony, to our events that have gone from the middle school to Somerville High School, all these different events with different students. The love of music that Patty has given to all of our students coming from Vanderveer have not only built a school pride, but also a community pride. So thank you, Patty, for everything that you've done, and not just for talking the talk, but for actually walking the walk as a citizen and educator. Thank you.
As per tradition, we are going to have some cake. Our next presentation is the MAPS update. So if our MAPS presenters want to come up. Limited to 2 hours.
So I'm going to stand over here. Hopefully everyone can see. So welcome. Thank you so much. I'm always excited to work with such an amazing group of people to present yearly on our MAPS update. MAPS, which stands for Motivation for Academic and Personal Success, is our non-traditional program that we started over 4 years ago to kind of help service certain students that weren't meeting success in the traditional high school setting. So, as we know, the statistics regarding just children in general are not necessarily great. Melissa, Dr. Staten could talk in great depth about the number of trauma cases, the number of cases that our children are exposed to. So one of my statistics here is actually probably underestimated based on the number of reports. But you can see that our kids come to school with more in their backpacks than just books and school supplies. They're bringing to school a whole host of issues that make it really difficult for them to learn. But I want you to focus that this is our just typical population. That are in our elementary school, our middle school, and our high school. So for many of our students that can receive help and have appropriate services wrapped around them, they tend to do really well. But others, no matter what we do, they tend to still fall through the cracks. And so I'm really blessed to say that we work in a district that's really supportive of programming that really does support whole child initiatives. So, as I said, 4 years ago, actually it was 5 years ago, we started looking at what was working and what wasn't working for some of our most vulnerable students. And we found that, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. We knew we needed to do something different. And thanks in part to a wonderfully supportive board, a supportive superintendent, and a wonderfully supportive community, we created MAPS, which is really when we put our square pegs into round holes they don't fit, kids that are really capable and intelligent and just need something special, something a little bit different. So we created MAPS, and the mindset has always been a whole child approach. And the whole child approach basically obviously goes beyond the academic, social, and emotional learning, takes a really key tenet in what we do every day. So our program services students that come to school with lots of obstacles. Our population includes kids with poor attendance, failing crisis, failing grades, lack of credit attainment, an inability to maintain proper pro-social peer relationships, social, emotional, and psychiatric issues, along with certain discipline issues. So in order to meet their needs, we really needed to do something different. And there's been this push recently from the Department of Education to do social emotional learning in schools. And it's kind of funny to me that there's this great push. It's actually a wonderful thing, but it's something that this district has been doing forever. Ever since I started in 2002, as parents still here, this is the first conversation that we had in her kitchen was about social emotional learning. We work out of Project Maurice Elias. So that's a testament to the people that have been here forever, just understanding that full child development is paramount in making our kids successful and have the interpersonal skills that they need to be successful. So SEL obviously is what drives us at MAPS. When we talk about whole child, we're talking way above the academic because we know we're not going to get to the academics if we're not addressing the social, the emotional, the behavioral, the psychiatric, and the psychological. So how do we do this? Well, there's a huge instructional and curricular integration. Everything that we do comes back to how does this apply to your life? How does this apply to you and the decisions that you make? We
also do a lot of in vivo lessons. A kid is triggered by something in a classroom. That doesn't mean they get in trouble. That doesn't mean that they get thrown out. It means we're going to talk about it. So our teachers really do go above and beyond to incorporate what's going on with them into the lesson and into a lesson that they can then take outside of the classroom so that they hopefully are making better decisions that wind up getting them progressing rather than something that would wind up getting them into trouble. The teacher's state of mind. We have some of the most amazing staff, and I truly mean that. They are not teachers of language arts or teachers of math or teachers of history. They're teachers of those subject matters and social emotional learning. They come to work every day knowing that their job extends beyond giving that academic knowledge, and they do a fabulous job with that. In addition, unlike in a lot of districts where somebody is the quote-unquote character and specialist, like the guidance counselor or the vice principal, it's a shared responsibility. Everybody at MAPS understands that their role is building that whole child philosophy. And then finally, it's program priority. Social emotional learning is something that we really value, and we wouldn't be able to have the success that we have with our students without making it a paramount piece of what we do every single day. So as I mentioned, the New Jersey Department of Education is doing this big push for social emotional learning, and we were lucky enough to be visited, a month ago or so, by a man named Andre Taylor, who oversees SEL implementation within the schools. And when he came, he was really impressed, and so we kind of went back to the Department of Ed and said, there's this wonderful thing going on at MAPS. The teachers are phenomenal at incorporating these competencies into their daily curriculum. We really want to highlight it. So we were really lucky that we were selected as one of 3 districts in the state that was featured on one of their podcasts. So we're going to play a little snippet from the podcast that highlights how MAPS uses social emotional learning.
I recently visited Somerville schools to get an idea of what this could look like and to give some context about the thought process behind an alternative high school that infuses SEL in every aspect.
Hi, I'm Dr. Connie McDonald. I'm the Director of Special Services for the Somerville Public Schools.
This is Scott Haig, principal of the MAPS program in Somerville.
So 4 years ago, we actually launched this program after we were doing a data analysis and looking at some of our statistics with our high school. And we noticed that our graduation rate was going down and our dropout rate was going up. So we wanted to try to understand why this was happening. And when we really looked at it, we found a group of students that really weren't responding to the traditional type of high school. It wasn't necessarily because they weren't capable or because they weren't intelligent enough. It was because they had a whole bunch of obstacles that were in their way. Some of them had a lot of family issues, some of them had mental health issues, some of them struggled with some behavioral issues. So we decided that we were going to look at a non-traditional program. We worked very closely with our Board of Education as well as our upper administration superintendent. We explored a whole bunch of other different programs in the state, and we came up with MAPS, Motivation for Academic and Personal Success, to really try to meet the needs of our very wonderful and capable students that just otherwise aren't meeting success in a traditional program. What makes us, I think, different than a lot of other places, we're not about SEL quote-unquote time, we're about infusing SEL into everything that we do. It all really comes down to the building of the relationship. We work really hard to make sure that we hire staff that really care about and understand. They're able to push the rigor, but also understand that these kids are presenting with things that not everybody's used to. You know, some of the most hardworking kids that just literally got the short end of the stick, and we're here to try to balance that out and make it so that they have the same opportunity, if not more opportunity, as they progress through our school.
SEL isn't necessarily a unit-based approach. It's a mindset, it's a philosophy that we embrace here at the MAPS program. And as Dr. McDonald said, is once we form that relationship with students and that connectedness between the student and the staff and the school and the home, we're able to have kids feel safe and secure and excited about a place that they can call their own, where they don't feel that they're judged and they can be themselves. And they know that they can come here good, bad, in different days, and we're going to be working with them regardless. And once they understand that and buy in and believe in what we're doing and see that we're going to be here each and every day for them, it's something that they too embrace.
I was able to get to observe a lesson taught by me.
So that was really exciting for us to be featured and highlighted on this podcast, something that we're extremely proud of. And again, it's a testament to the staff and the wonderful kids that we have in our program. But kind of what Mr. Damashki is going to talk about next is how, in order to be successful in a program like this, you really have to redefine the role of a teacher. As I said, teachers aren't just teaching content areas, they're teaching content areas plus life skills, plus the social emotional piece, plus behavior, plus decision making. That's what they do every day, and that's why it works. So I'm going to hand it over to Mr. President.
Hi, so I've been tasked with trying to explain to you guys kind of what we do at MAPS from a teacher's perspective. And if you come into my classroom and you ask my students how I teach or what I like to use in the classroom, I'm big on analogies. So I'm going to start with an analogy for you. It really begins with a question, right? If you were a carpenter and you were tasked with building your own home, right, what kind of lumber would you choose to build your home? Right, would you choose the straight, top choice, perfectly wonderful lumber that you see in the top picture, or would you choose the lumber at the bottom right, the worn, the weathered, maybe a little bit of warped wood? I think the answer is pretty clear, right? You choose the top, right? The nice wood. It makes sense because you're trying to build your own home. Guys, this analogy really holds true in teaching because as teachers, we're trying to build classrooms that will endure. Just like we try to build a home that will endure. But the big difference is carpenters get to choose their wood. We as teachers don't get to choose our students. And this is especially true at MAPS, where we work with kids that don't quite fit into the traditional school setting, right? So I'm going to ask you another question. If you were a carpenter, you were building your own home, and I forced you to work with the weathered and the warped wood, right? How would you do it? And that's really the challenge that myself and the other MAPS staffers sitting in the back here deal with on every single day. Right? We're working with students who are a little worn and torn. Okay? And I think as a carpenter and as a teacher, you have to rely on two things. One, right, as a carpenter, if you're working with this kind of wood, you need to use all the tools in your tool bag to build the best house that you can. Just like a teacher, we have to use all the tools that we can to try to meet the needs of students. The more important thing, I think, is that you have to be comfortable as a carpenter, just like we have to be comfortable as teachers, that the house might look a little bit different. Our classroom and our school might not fit the traditional model, but it doesn't make it any less our home. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try to kind of talk to you about what our home looks like, specifically within my classroom, how we as a staff work together to try to build that home for our students, and then some of the other opportunities that are unique to the MAPS program that we provide for our students. So first we'll talk about curriculum integration, specifically with that SEL framework, right? Social and emotional learning. So some of the things that I try to do within my classroom to incorporate SEL naturally is one, right, having group work and providing individual supports for kids on an individual basis. We're fortunate enough at the MAPS program to have enough staff, right, to really work one-on-one and one-on-three with our kids. So we get to know them on a personal level, and we're able to make that learning more authentic. I also try to incorporate a lot of project-based learning experiences. This year, we had a really great opportunity to work with two classrooms in the Vanderveer School, with Ms. Ligori and Ms. Royak, where those classes actually came to our program after we had a field trip to New York City. And our students taught the elementary school kids about different cultures from around the world. So our kids were experts teaching these youngsters. And then we turnkeyed that back around and allowed our students to go down to the elementary school and learn from those elementary school students. It was a really cool experience. Another thing that we try to do with MAPS is have a growth mindset to understand that how we look at grading and how we see student achievement, it just needs to be different. Because we have a variety of students from a variety of different learning backgrounds with a variety of different needs. So understanding that we're looking for growth and not just getting the A. We look to try to develop self-reflectors, and buzzword in education is metacognition, or thinking about how you think. And I'm actually going to go back to that podcast and give you a snippet of a lesson that was all about that self-reflection. Sure.
Speaking class, Dave is drawing from an activity that was done at the beginning of the year, in which students did a short speech about themselves and their strengths, as well as their weaknesses and who they were. Dave is going to help students reflect on that speech and help them see their growth in the emotional and social
I may not have been mature enough at the beginning of the year, or I may not have worked well with the door at the beginning of the year. But now, here we are, and 180 days later, very close to it, and I'm a different person, right? So this next activity, guys, relates exactly to those definitions that you just created, right? What I want you guys to do is look at the sheet that we handed you. So that little snippet, although it's short, right, it kind of talks about how we want students to think about their learning, about their growth, truly be reflective in the learning process. The last thing is we really try to empower our students and to promote self-advocacy. We're working with students that generally need to be able to speak up for themselves or aren't as confident in themselves to speak up on their behalf. So empowering our students to know that they own their education. They are the biggest stakeholder in that education. Is really important. Another thing we do at MAPS is we have, Dr. McDonald spoke about, we have a great staff. And we do the best that we can to work together collaboratively to really build a learning community. One of the ways we do this is we have bi-weekly professional learning community meeting days. We do a variety of things that a traditional high school teacher would not have the chance to do. Instead of focusing on content or curriculum, although we do that sometimes, right, we take the time to talk specifically about our programming and our kids. So we have an opportunity to review the day and the week. We can discuss specific students and what their needs are, both within the classroom and socially and emotionally. We can talk about issues and problems within the program, kids. And lastly, there's a lot of incentives and rewards built in to the MAPS program. So it's an opportunity for us to recognize the students that need to be recognized and reward the students that need to be rewarded. The last thing that I'm going to talk about are some of the different or unique opportunities that our students have at MAPS. And one of those is a group, or two groups, that I co-facilitate with the school psychologist, Dr. Ellen Stein. We actually started this last year in a boys group. And really it's about creating a safe space for our kids to explore and rethink themselves and their role within the school and their role within the larger community. We've actually grown our group this year to go from just a boys group to also a girls group. We cover a variety of topics, some are thematic, but oftentimes these thematic psychoed programming turns into personal reflections, and the best groups turn all the way back to students within MAPS, right? So if there's issues going on in MAPS, or if there's issues going on within their learning, students can address these, again, within a safe space. The other cool thing in the way that the group has grown this year is we've now provided opportunities for our kids to take the group outside of school. So one of the cool things that the kids really enjoy this year are our trip to Gravity Bowl, which is an indoor climbing area. And Gravity Bowl in itself kind of speaks to what we try to do with MAPS, which is that we're trying to give our students authentic experiences, right, that build meaningful relationships both between their peers, right, their teachers, and then the larger learning community, that create meaningful and lasting connections. I don't think any of these things really pop up on any SEL chart, but this, at its heart, is what social emotional learning is all about. It's about creating meaningful connections that help our students learn themselves and their place in the world in important ways. I'm going to turn it over to Steve.
So, if you notice, the common thread that both Dr. McDonald might have mentioned, Mr. Damashki, and then what we heard in the podcast was relationships and positive relationships that are formed between not only the students and the staff, but the families and the staff. And I think it's paramount to our success. So while it's not necessarily on the slide, let me just expand on that for a second, because it's so important. The relationship is what builds everything, whether it's the social aspect, whether it's the emotional aspect, whether it's the academics that we're focusing on at any given point in time. It's the relationship that the staff that's seated out here in the audience right now, that they have formed and that they've worked tirelessly with our students that allow us to make the impact that we're making.
So that is ever so critical. If we look at it, our why, end of the day, why are we doing what we do? Because honestly, it's a grind. It is not an easy day. Those guys that are sitting out there right now, it's a grind. They're tired. It's hard. But why do we do it? Because of what you see up there. In 3 weeks from now, everything kind of comes full circle, and we recognize and realize what potential can do and the value of that relationship. So a couple of things that we just need to know of our why. It's the connectedness, honestly. The relationship between the staff and the family, myself and the families, and the students and the staff and the students and their peers puts them in a place where they truly want to re-engage into a school community that they struggled with for so long. There's a reason. Everybody in the room has baggage. We all have it. It's just a matter of how it influences the choices that we make day in and day out. And unfortunately for some of the students that are in our program, it's influenced them in the wrong direction. And they've struggled to be successful in school. Now they're starting to buy back into themselves. And as soon as they can buy back into themselves, then they're going to allow themselves to have a chance to succeed and be recognized. Everybody wants that positive reinforcement, whether they say they want it or not. They want it. They need to hear it. And as soon as they hear it, again, you form that relationship and that trust that goes a very long way. Belief and purpose. Like I just said, for too long they've struggled and they've been told that they can't or they won't or they hadn't or they will not, X, Y, and Z. And if you hear it day in and day out, whether it's right, wrong, or different, they start to believe it. So our approach is, again, good, bad, and different. We're going to be there with you one way or the other, and we're going to tell you right, wrong, and indifferent, but we're not going to walk away from you either. And as soon as they see that, they trust you, and again, they start to re-examine themselves and recognize what they're capable of doing. And a sense of pride. For too long and too often, MAPS had its own little stigma. Again, it's something that unless you're a part of it, you don't necessarily understand it. And for some of the students that even come to our program, at the initial conversation, they're hesitant. Once they become a part of it, they start to believe in it, themselves, and our direction. And that is the value of the program itself. For those that were on the fence of whether or not they wanted to come and whether or not they wanted to make that leap of faith and walk away from the traditional high school setting and all of their peers and all of the large high school offerings that they could have, for them to do that, to put themselves in a better position, that's something special. But once they do it, they don't want to leave. They don't want to leave. They come every day. Even on the days where you think they're not going to come, they show up. They're here because, again, it's their place and they can call it their own. And the last thing is the real you. And we know, I kind of alluded to it in the podcast a little bit. It's a non-judgment zone. Honestly, MAPS is comprised of every walk of life that you can imagine. And every single person that's in the program knows they're there for a reason, never speaks of the reason, but accepts each other for who they are, what they are, and what we're all trying to do. And to have everybody in a small space, yet support one another day in and day out, again, they feel comfortable in themselves, they trust themselves, they trust everybody else that's around them, and it allows them to move forward. Just a quick little update from where we are, from where we started to where we are. Where we started, where we are. 4 years ago, like Dr. McDonald stated, we started due to overwhelming support of the board and the community. And we said we wanted to start with approximately anywhere from 20 to 24 kids. And we kind of created it like a wedding, where we would invite certain kids that we targeted through data analysis that we felt would benefit from a fresh start, to surprising, yeah, it was surprising. Every single person that we spoke to said yes, they wanted to be a part of it. So we started year one with 26 students. Over the course of time, we've kind of done the same thing, and we said that we want to keep our numbers at 32, 33, 34, 35, and that number kind of keeps ticking up to a point where we're at 42 now because we struggle to say no. and I mean, we struggle to say no. It's easy for us to all say, no, we're not taking any more, no, we're not taking any more, until you sit down across the table from the students that are struggling, and the mom and the dad that asks for your help, and it's just not in your heart to say no. So we're at 42, which, I mean, that in itself is an amazing achievement for all of us. Tuition students, I think that's worthy of note as well. In 4 years, we've had 9 out-of-district tuition students that have come. Believe it or not, we have another intake tomorrow with a Bridgewater Raritan student. So that could be potentially our 10th tuition student that's coming. 4 years or 3 years in now, we've graduated 33 students from the program. If you notice, in 2016 was 8, 2017 11, 18 was 14, and we're hoping for 12 in 2019. My next one is Lead Like the Ville. I think I might have stole this from Moose or Jill. I remember reading it somewhere, and believe it or not, it stuck with me because it's an impactful statement, and I stole it. I like it. We're out there. We are being talked about throughout Somerset and Hunterdon counties as a model school district. The program that we put forward for our kids is being talked about, and believe it or not, they're coming to visit it and create their own based upon what we're doing. We've had schools like Summit here, we've had schools like North Hunterdon, Hunterdon Central. Some of the bigger schools in the surrounding area are coming to seek out help based upon what we're doing and the success that we're achieving. Beyond the classroom, it doesn't necessarily, I know Dave spoke on it, and Dr. McDonald as well, our learning doesn't necessarily just occur inside the classroom walls. We're outside, we're at the soup kitchen every month working with the disadvantaged in the community. We're out, Mr. Baldino takes a group of students to citizens within the town, and they're performing yard cleanups in the fall and the spring because they're unable to. Believe it or not, he's actually receiving referral phone calls from the elderly that we're servicing. They're telling their friends, and then their friends are calling and asking if they could set up a date and time, which is nice. And lastly, I just noted that our course of study is ever expanding and continuing to meet the needs of our students. Again, first year, we were really focusing on the core content that we needed to get and put kids in a position to graduate. Now we're in a position where not only can we put the core content in front of them, but we can put some core courses in front of them that are real world applicable and of interest for them. So we've expanded to offer an art course, crime and civil law, music appreciation, things that are hands-on and can get the students involved in the learning process. And we've reaped the rewards of that. So that's just a snapshot of where we started to where we're at. Progress is better told probably anecdotally, but it's not something that I can easily put up on the screen. Happy to share anytime. It's a special place with special people that work really hard to work with some of our most challenging students.
Okay, so we're going to wrap up with this quote that every kid is just one carrot away from being a success story. I invited all of the MAP staff. Unfortunately, two couldn't make it tonight. One had a family emergency and one just had a baby. But I invited you guys because I really want to talk to you about how much your role means to the kids and what a difference you truly make. We understand that your job is not always easy, but being somebody that can kind of see it from looking above, the work that you do, it really does pay off. And sometimes it's baby steps, and sometimes it's leaps and bounds, but the program would not be what it is without each and every single one of you. You were all picked for a very, including you guys, you were all picked for a very, very special reason. It's because you have something really special. You know how to push the rigor, but also understand that these kids come with so much more. You see them as people. You put up with a lot. You come back. I cannot thank you enough for everything that you do. You truly inspire me to want to continue and make this better and support and bring in more kids. Have Scott tell me no, which he doesn't. But really, the job that you do, it's often a thankless job, but know that we see what you do, we appreciate what you do, and you truly are making a difference for our most vulnerable kids. So we would like to present you tonight, each of you, with an All In for the Ville Award. up each of the kids. Some of you might have seen me kind of creeping around the last couple of days pulling random kids. And I said to them that we were presenting tonight, and is there one staff member that you would pick that you feel has really changed your life or touched you that you would want to say thank you to? And the most overwhelming piece to me is that most of the kids said, do I have to pick one? And that was, and I said yes because I don't have enough thank you cards. But it was really a testament to the fact that you do touch each kid. So we have some awards, so I'd like to introduce, so first Matt Bloom. Next, we have Sheila Deck. Oh, Sheila. Sheila has befriended a student that literally didn't come to school at the high school for 2 months. About 2 months, didn't come to school. Sits in her office sometimes doing Apex work, and Sheila sits behind her because she's not comfortable with conversation, but they have had the most meaningful conversations, and she's got her talking. And kid you not, I was in Mr. Haynes' classroom 2-3 weeks ago. She was at the board doing a problem. Never thought it would happen. She's doing fabulous. So speaking of Mr. Haynes, Mr. Namolo. Our newest addition, Mr. Harvey. Our maps coordinator, who puts up with a lot of stuff, Mr. Baldino. Our teacher of the year and also Baldwin Award winner, Mr. Damaski. And last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Haid, who is the maths principal, who sometimes gets overlooked, but his work is never-ending. I've never seen such dedication, such devotion, such fairness in his leadership. I probably learned more from him than anyone else that I've ever worked with, and I appreciate everything. Mr. Melisorgo and Dr. Stein are the two that couldn't be here, so they're also going to be awarded. And the math staff can meet me outside if we have something else for you, so thank you.
Pleased to be in MAPS. Anyone that wants any of this, go to MAPS.
Before they leave, I know the highest burnout rate in public school education is children with challenging behaviors. And the turnover rate in our school has blown all of those statistics away. And that's because of everything Dr. McDonald explained about how you're there for the kids. They also, Doc, wanted to let you know, SAMHSA just released today, 1 in 8 children, 1 in every 8 children is living in a home where their parent is substance abusing. The single greatest difference between growing up in that house and staying out of the juvenile justice system is relationship. This program is changing the community and the world. And by the way, National School Board's they've started a Safe Schools initiative, and this is a safe school. Congratulations, all of you.
I know Dr. McDonald told all of you guys that the board wasn't sold on MAPS, and that's why she needed you all here. That's not true. Okay, they're sold on you.
Totally a big fat liar. He didn't say that.
Thank you. Thank you. Today, we also gave out other All in the Bill awards. We gave it out to Mr. Derflinger, Ms. Ligori, Mrs. Mrs. Turnbull, Mr. Siani, Ms. Edelman, Dr. Szynski, and Signora Cantatori. And we have a couple more to give out, but some people weren't here today, so we couldn't get to that. Moving on to district highlights for VDV, the fifth grade science classes are participating in virtual labs with professional scientists. Prior to the lab, the company sends us all the materials needed for the experiment. Then during the scheduled time, a scientist connects through a live video stream with the class. She or he introduces themselves, talks to their connection to the world of science, and then does an introduction to the lab. The scientist models for the class the procedure of the lab, students perform the lab, and then the students are able to ask the scientists questions. Throughout the lab, the students collect data and make predictions. A special thank you to Ms. Alex Lori for her organization and support of the virtual labs. And these virtual labs we've been doing in other buildings as well as the actual field trips to these, to the different organizations, places that they have for the experiments. And on May 15th, a number of students from Mr. Derflinger's art classes were invited to an evening art showing at the Somerville Public Library. The showing consisted of the eclectic works from our Vanderveer students and were displayed all around the first floor of the library. Refreshments were available as the students showed their projects to their parents and other invited guests. Mayor Sullivan spoke at the start of the show and emphasized the importance of celebrating students for their interest in creating, creative, and performing arts. Thank you, Mr. Derflinger, for organizing such an amazing event. For Somerville Middle School, grade 6 students went on a walking trip to Borough Hall and learned about Somerville community leadership. The students also visited the library while they were in the area. The grade 8 Washington trip was a huge success. The students enjoyed the experience immensely. And the SMS marching band participated in the Memorial Day Parade and represented the middle school admirably. Some upcoming dates to remember: the SMS Field Day will be held on Friday, May 31st. Everyone is looking forward to fun in the sun, so keep your fingers crossed that the weather cooperates. For the grade 5 parent orientation will take place on Monday, June 5th. This is our first step in transitioning the next 6th grade class into the middle school. Next year's principal, Mr. Benjamin, has been invited to attend and participate the evening. Oh, sorry, Monday is June 3rd. Thank you. The Music in the Parks competition is scheduled for Friday, June 7th. We wish both our instrumental and vocal ensembles all the best during their respective competitions. For Somerville High School, congratulations to our SHS and instrumental students for yet another amazing performance during the annual SHS Instrumental Spring Concert. The performance was under the direction of Mr. Kropaski and took place on Wednesday, May 15th. On Thursday, May 16th, and Friday, May 17th, SHS held its pre-prom every 15 minutes program. During this 2-day program, juniors and seniors observed a simulated car crash scene which involved students and first responders. On the following day, a memorial service was held in the high school auditorium. The purpose of this program is to make students aware of the dangerous effects and deadly consequences of drinking and driving and distracted driving. On Monday, May 20th, SHS held its 41st Annual Honor Award ceremony. Over 300 students from grades 9 through 12 were honored for achieving honor roll or high honor roll status for 3 out of the 4 marking periods during the school year. Congratulations to all. And congratulations to junior Kylie McLaughlin, who won the New Jersey Division of Fire Safety Poster Contest at the local, county, and state levels. In collaboration with the Somerset County Fire Marshals Association, the Community Risk Reduction Public Education Fire Prevention Poster Contest is a community outreach program sponsored by the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs Division of Fire Safety and the New Jersey Fire Prevention and Protection Association. Kylie was the overall winner amongst great competition. This is quite an accomplishment, so congrats once again to her. And that concludes district highlights.
Well, that was a lot of good stuff. Congratulations to all the award winners tonight. I think it's outstanding, and that's why our students are so successful, just because of everybody that's out there that gives 100%. So, as a parent, I certainly appreciate it, and I know the rest of the board members do. So now, moving on, if our student board members are still awake, then we will ask you for your reports, and we will start with Daphne.
Well, first, to add on to what Dr. Teagan said about every 15 minutes, I just want to say that all my peers were and a lot of them became really emotional with the memorial coming in May. And it really helped to spread the message of safe driving. So it's a really great program that we do, and I'm really happy that I got to experience it this year. And then second, Mr. Scott's Big History and Mrs. Wong's AP Human Geography class went to New York City for the day, and we went to the Museum of Natural History, where we were able to apply what we learned throughout the year to the museum and the different exhibits that we saw. And all the students loved the trip, the opportunity to walk around the city in beautiful weather. So I'll pass on the calendar now.
It was a really busy week with a lot of field trips, as Dr. mentioned one of them. Also on Monday, the junior class traveled to Homedale to visit the New Jersey Vietnam Veterans Memorial, as is what we have been studying. And we enjoyed hearing from the veterans on board themselves who volunteer there as they share their personal stories with all of us. Also, the a cappella choir performed Sunday the 19th at New Jersey Performing Arts Center, singing Carmina Burana, accompanied by the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra. There were 4 rehearsals prior for this outside of school with the other high schools that we performed with, including James Stevens, Newark Academy, and New Providence High School, and there were over 300 singers performing. And the newly founded Medical Sciences Club at school, we traveled to the New Jersey Sharing Network to get a tour of the facility, which is responsible for matching organs of donors to those in need. And we had an assembly for them earlier this year, so it was nice that students had the opportunity to travel there to see really what they do. And the Medical Science Club hopes to take more field trips in the upcoming school year, such as to the Liberty Science Center. Lastly, the 17th annual Holocaust Education Day took place last Tuesday, where students enjoy hearing from guest speakers who come every year. And this year there were 2 men who were young during the Holocaust, and they traveled to America. And so it always is great hearing from new speakers every year. Watch a movie about the Holocaust and just participate in activities to just really increase awareness, learn more, and just be able to talk about something so serious, and just all in an effort to prevent something like this from happening again.
Thank you. Ladies, feel free to leave. You have to stay for the rest of the day. All right, moving on to the finals. Ms. Schweitzer.
It is recommended that items 1 through 5 be made on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. 1 is the board secretary's financial reports. 2, acceptance of monthly reports. 3, payroll. 4, bills list. And 5 is line item transfers.
Thank you. The item is being moved by Ms. Schweitzer. May I have a second, please? Second. Thank you, Mr. Patillo. Due to the variety of items we have under both items for finance, I would ask Mr. Boyce to please take a roll call.
Sure. Mr. Quarles?
Standing on 2CD, and yes,
What was the second one? 2C.
Okay. Mrs. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Puntillo?
Yes.
Dr. Seed?
Yes.
Mrs. Schweitzer?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Sergio?
yes.
Mr. Jacks?
Yes.
It is recommended that items 6 through 9 be moved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. The high school and district-wide bills list. Ground and ground renewal. All clean building services and contract renewal. And travel expenditures.
Thank you. The item is being moved by Ms. Schweitzer. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Seed. Ms. Van Horn, any discussion? Mr. Boyce, your roll call, please.
Mr. Quarles?
Yes.
Mrs. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Puntillo?
Yes.
Dr. Seed?
Yes.
Mrs. Schweitzer?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Sergio?
Yes.
Mr. Jacks?
I abstain on item 7 and vote yes on the rest.
Okay. Mrs. Fabrizi?
Certification of major account status. Pursuant to NJAC 6A:23A-16.10C4, the Somerville Board of Education certifies that as of January 31st, 2019, after review of the board secretaries and treasurers' monthly financial reports, and upon consultation with the appropriate officials, to the best of its knowledge, no major account or fund has been overexpended in violation of NJAC 6A:23A-16.10.
high school, one of the biggest rewards of a parent is when your children come back and report back what they did, especially on a field trip, especially with my kid, because he spoke to me about the Holocaust Museum. He spoke to me about the Vietnam Vets Memorial, and he spoke to me about the every 15 minutes activities that we had, and we had our dialogue, and what amazes me is my son and how amazed he is of what I know. You know, and I say to him, well, I'm not that much older than you are. I didn't go to school. And he said, well, I know you went to school, but you are that much older, which I can. So be it. So, but with that said, that is why we have these activities, because that way our students can engage in that dialogue and increase their learning. So, but with that said, I also asked my kids, if you have anything else besides a baseball hat, and he gave me this, and I'm going to put this on. Might be a little hot, but hey, so be it. So how is everybody doing tonight? Can I get a bit, let's go, Bill? Let's go, Bill. Can I get a big let's go, Bill? 1, 2, 3. Let's go. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Let's get started. You know, my father told me a long time ago, here we go, that's more like it. My father told me a long time ago, you work hard enough, you dedicate your time, you do everything you can to achieve the thing that you love. You will grow up to appreciate that thing that you love. And guess what? You might even win. So, with that said, there was a lot of winning going on in Ville Athletics today. And the orange and black has been winning in stratospheric proportions. Let's start. Let's start with baseball. They're 18-6 overall, and they are the Valley Division Scotland Conference Championships. They are playing their semifinal sectional game tomorrow, not today, at Nutley High School. Okay, the quarterfinal game in the grind diamond style continues they continue tomorrow. But in the quarterfinal game, all right, the Ville was 3 outs away, losing 1-0 to Cranford. And just like in Rocky II, when Mickey, in the 15th round against Apollo Creed, said, I want you to switch to southpaw, Coach Banos told Murderers Row, the long ball hitters, it's now time to play small ball. All right? So, okay, what did they do? All right, they forced the second baseman into 3 errors, which single-handedly took them to a 2-1 victory. Okay, also on top of, in the most beautiful third baseline bunt by Joe King Kong Braun. The boxer Bobby Morgan, who was pitching a gem the entire game, said, allow me, and let me finish this off 1, 2, 3. So there they go. They are continuing the quest. Semifinals tomorrow at Nutley High School. Okay, the boys lacrosse team, all right, the Lax, 14-7 overall. They are the Valley Division Scotland Conference co-champs. They are the South Group 2 sectional champs. They are playing in the Group 2 state championship game tomorrow against Summit at Shore Regional. How did they get there? It's been a long journey. A young Somerville team with limited senior experience made improvements along the way. And with first-year coach Jamie Lovejoy, they put the pedal to the metal and never looked back. All right? After 4 losing seasons, Mr. Lovejoy said, enough. He built a brand new attitude and team culture as the Pioneers looked to right the ship. All right? And throughout the tournament, Somerville was signed Stephen Dynamo Duprod, Julian Verone, and Ryan the Wrecking Machine Pearson. Not to mention Stonewall and Evan Bart outscored their tournament opponents 54-15 to advance to the first sectional finals. All right? And let's see, they outscored them 52-15 along that way. All right, in the sectional finals on Saturday, Verona had 3 goals with Mikey Rose and Duprod and Pearson getting their own. And not to mention, Bar saying, not today on multiple shots. Okay, the Pioneers defeated their foes 8-3 to knock the first sectional championship. Now, the new quest continues at 7:30 at Shore High School, where the Pioneers look to knock their first Group 3 state championships against number 5 ranked Summit. This will be a match of the ages. All right, now let's talk about the other boys and girls of spring. Your boys and girls track teams. All right, wait for my chariots to find it. Okay, so right now, the track team, they have the Somerset Valley champions. They have the Scotland Conference Valley Division champions. All right, is that better? Yes. All right, good. So the girls track and field team are the Scotland Conference Valley Division co-champions. And new records are being set all over the place. John McGovern has another another school record in the 1600 meter. Melina Cristodulo has a new school record in triple jump. And in the county championships this week, the boys team came in third with the Camster Haskell, first in javelin. Kiefer Thomas, second in javelin. Okay, John McGovern's third in the 3200 race and second in the 1600 race. Vincent Twinkle Twos, third in the discus. Okay, the North Group 3 sectional boys, top 6 athletes in each event move on to the group championships next week. And the boys team takes second overall, with Cam Haskell first in javelin, Drew Svoboda first in the triple jump, and Kiefer Thomas second in javelin. Matt, do not call me Eli Manning, was 6th in shot put, Vincent Twos 4th in the discus, and Brian State Murphy 3rd in the pole vault. Scott Petruzewski 4th in the pole vault. Drew Svoboda and Tyler Ranierson moved to the finals in the long jump, and in the boys, the 4x880, Taylor Williams and McGovern moved to the finals. Now on to girls track and field news. The girls advanced to the county with Kate Clarkson in the 4th in the pole vault, Melina Cristodulo, 5th, and Zoe Avino 6th in triple jump. Athletes Bert Slater Williams Van Ness 5th in the 4x100 relay. And Kaylee of House Jess, all right, 4th in the high hurdles. Melina Cristodulo 3rd in the high jump. Okay, other winning notables. All right, softball 11-9 overall, 9-2 in the conference. Second place Valley Division Scouting Conference champions. Scouting Conference. Okay, girls lacrosse 11-11. Second place in that Valley Division. It's one thing in Q in there somewhere. All right, boys golf 15-3 overall in the Valley Division Conference champions. Boys tennis 12-8, 11-7 in the district. Second place in the Scouting Conference Valley Division. And the Central Group 2 quarterfinals. That is all the winning that I am talking about. So that will be my report. But last but not least, I want to note Miss Lindsay Ferber, who is back there. Okay, she has worked tirelessly with our SMS softball team, and she just wants to say that their season ended with a win against Bound and the SMS coaches want to wish all of their 8th graders the best they move on to high school. Alexia, Sam, Lena, Ashley, and Maddie. And they also want to give a shout out to their stat girls, Maura and Julia, for all their support throughout the season. So with that, that is my report, and I just want to give one last Let's Go Bill. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go Bill. Thank you very much, and I will work on the technical difficulties. Yes, I do. Correct, sir. And with that said, there is one item to move. Okay, and resolve the Board of Education approve the 2019 tryout ice hockey agreement for Summerville High School, First High School, and Middlesex High School at a cost of $5,400.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Shugio. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Mr. Saban, any discussion? Mr. Boyce, we have a roll call, please.
Yes. Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Mrs. Olson? Mr. Pontillo?
Yes.
Dr. C?
Yes.
Mrs. Schweitzer?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Sergio?
Yes.
Mr. Jess?
Yes.
Mrs. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Thank you. And I'd just like to thank Mr. Sergio for meeting with the hockey parents, similar to when we met with the gymnastics parents. The hockey parents had some concerns over the program continuing, and Mr. Sergio met with them and had very good conversations with them to enable us to get to this point. So I'd like to thank you for that. And let's go, Bill.
Let's go.
All right, moving on to curriculum committee. Ms. Van Horn.
Okay, the last curriculum meeting took place on April 30th. There was discussion of the summer reading assignments, preschool professional development. We want to follow the same model next year, utilizing the lead teacher, planning schedule and curriculum for the new world language teacher next year, as well as plans for identifying gifted and talented students. The Spanish intervention time is being utilized and the gap is closing. The new middle school math curriculum has been determined, iReady. We're focusing on coaching and professional development. Enrollment targets for the 2 new computer science courses have been met, and the code of conduct will continue to be under review, but at this point, no changes are recommended. And it is recommended that item 1 be moved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Resolved that the Board of Education approve the attached 2019 summer reading program for grades K through 8.
Thank you. Moved by Ms. Van Horn. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Carlson. Any discussion? Mr. Boyce, roll call, please.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mrs. Olson. Mr. Pontillo. Dr. C.
Yes.
Mrs. Schweitzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Van Horn.
Yes.
Mr. Sergio.
Yes.
Mr. Jess.
Yes.
Resolved that the Board of Education approve the enclosed request for field trips. Number 3, resolved that the Board of Education approve the updated Somerville Public School 3-year comprehensive equity plan for 2019 through 2021. Number 4, resolved that the Board of Education approve the attached 2019 summer reading program for grades 9 through 12. Resolved that the Board of Education approve the MAPS extended year program. Number 6, resolved that the Board of Education approve the attached proposal for credit limitations and student registration fees for Apex credit recovery courses. Number 7, resolved that the Board of Education approve the non-refundable attendance fee of $25 per course for students enrolled in the Apex credit recovery courses.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Van Horn. We have a second on those items. Thank you, Mr. Trujillo. Any discussion? Mr. Boyce?
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mrs. Olson. Mr. Pontillo. Dr. C.
Yes.
Mrs. Schweitzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Van Horn.
Yes.
Mr. Sergio.
Yes.
Mr. Jess.
Yes.
Mrs. Fabrizi.
Moving on to Technology Committee, Mr. Van Horn.
The Technology Department staff assisted the Somerville High School, Somerville Middle School, and Vanderveer with troubleshooting and providing older devices for new part testing. And as part of the New Jersey Department of Education awarded computer science grant, funding has been allocated to complete an equity audit to determine how we can better support students of underrepresented populations, and focus groups have taken place on that item.
Thank you. Moving on, New Jersey School Board report, Mr. Sergio. What kind of music do you have for this one?
I don't have it. Yes, as the NJSBA delegate, I attended the semi-annual delegate assembly at Mercer County College on May 18th. And just to note some of the highlights from that meeting, they announced and swore in all the new officers of 2019-2020. Laura as the president, Bruce Young as the vice president for county activities, Tammy Smith for vice president for finance, Karen Cortolino, MD, for vice president of legislation resolution. Okay, they also discussed the partnership, some of the partnership highlights, such as ACES. And ACES stands for the Alliance Competition for Energy Savings. And for the last 15 years, what ACES does is they purchase electricity and natural gas at discounted rates for New Jersey's public schools. And just one thing to note that this purchase resulted in a $225 million savings in natural gas and coal since 2011. Another partnership that is now starting is the Rutgers University Division of Continuing Studies. They are partnering with New Jersey School Board Associations and the Rutgers University Division of Continuing Studies. This agreement marks the beginning of the New Jersey School Board Association Online University, which is an activity that's directly related to the 3 goals that by their strategic plan. What they want to do is to build what's called a future-ready association. They want to enhance direct services, building a future, making training more accessible online. So Rutgers will provide the in-kind services and develop close to 14 courses. And these programs will cover mandated training in the professional areas, and they want to expand these courses and these course offerings for board members and make training available to a larger audience, such as district IT directors, for example, facility managers, and first level administrators. So we'll hopefully get some more data as to that progress in the November meeting. So that's my proposal.
Thank you, sir. Dr. T.
30 seconds, please. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
Somerset County School Board held their meeting on May 21st at Somerset County Vocational Technical High School. It was a joint meeting with the Hunterdon County School Boards Association, who installed their new leadership positions. Senator Kip Bateman from District 16 attended and gave a short update presentation on legislation, answered a few questions from the guests. Assemblyman Zwicker and Peterson were expected to attend but could not make it. The evening's program also included recognition of board members who have achieved certification, and our Dr. Melissa Satan was recognized as a master board member, which requires 40 credits as well as several other requirements. And I know Linda Olson is also a master board member, and I believe, Dan, you are a certified board member. So these, again, all the things that we do that aren't always recognized.
Mrs. Van Horn would not say it herself, but she was also recognized. It is a very rare thing for a first-year board member to earn 10 credits in 1 year, and so she was also.
Okay, on to personnel. Pre-K to 8, resolve the Board of Education approve and/or accept the superintendent of schools recommendations as follows. Appointments and salaries contingent upon verified documentation. Number 1, to approve the appointment of the listed staff members to the position of substitute teacher for the 2019 Summer Technology Camp program. Number 2, to approve the appointment of Freddie Shaker to the position of substitute teacher for the 2019 Summer Performing Arts program. Number 3, to approve the appointment of Visa Farzari to a student at Seton Hall University to complete her internship placement as a school counselor in Somerville Middle School. Number 4, to approve an appointment of Gary Mallinson to the position of volunteer for 2019 Summer Performing Arts program. May I have a motion on those items, please? Thank you, Mr. Jim. Have a second? Thank you, Mrs. Olson. Any discussion? Mr. Boyce?
Mr. Carlson? Yes. Mrs. Olson? Mr. Pontillo? Dr. C?
Yes.
Mrs. Schweitzer?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Sergio?
Yes.
Mr. Jess?
Yes. For 9 through 12 and district-wide, resolved that the Board of Education approve and/or accept the superintendent of schools recommendations as follows. Appointments and salaries contingent upon verified documentation. Number 5, to approve the newly created position of curriculum supervisor. Number 6, to approve Carol Kabord for summer work in the guidance office at Somerville High School on June 24th and June 25th. Number 7, to approve the appointment of the listed staff members to score world language placement exams. Number 8, to approve the appointment of the listed staff members to the position of central detention monitors for Somerville High School for the 1920 school year on an as-needed basis. Number 9, to approve the appointment of the listed staff members to the position of hall duty monitor at Somerville High School for the 1920 school year on an as-needed basis. Number 10, to approve the appointment of the listed staff members for curriculum writing for Introduction to Computer Programming at Somerville High School. Number 11, to approve the appointment of Christy Malone for curriculum writing for cybersecurity at Somerville High School, and that'll be paid from the competitive computer science grant. Number 12, to approve the appointment of Diana Bakash to the position of substitute teacher for the 2019 Summer Computer Science Bridge program at Somerville High School. Number 13, to approve the appointment of the listed individuals to the position of substitute teacher for the 18-19 school year. Number 14, to approve the extension to the unpaid medical leave for Rebecca Drake, teacher at Somerville High School, from May 28th to June 7th. Number 15, to approve an unpaid child care leave of absence in accordance with the New Jersey Family Leave Act for Matthew Melisargo at the MAPS program, and that will be effective from May 14th through May 20th. Number 16, to approve the newly created position of part-time custodian district-wide. Number 17, to approve the appointment of the attached list of individuals to the position of coach at Somerville High School for the fall season of 2019-20. Number 18, to approve the appointment of Amy Opolsky to the position of summer athletic trainer for Somerville High School. Number 19, to approve the appointment of Amy Opolsky for summer physical reviews at Somerville High School, not to exceed 10 days. Number 20, to approve the appointment of the attached list of individuals to the position of volunteer at Somerville High School for the 1920 school year. Number 21, to approve the transfer of Mary Honrath, the position of guidance counselor at Somerville Middle School, to the position of guidance counselor at Somerville High School to fill a vacancy caused by a retirement of Carol Moore. Number 22, to approve the appointment of Mary Honrath for summer work on July 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th, 2019 in the guidance office at Somerville High School. Number 23, to approve the appointment of Deborah Cordor for summer secretarial work in the athletic office at Somerville High School, not to exceed 10 days. And number 24, to approve the appointment of Dr. Thomas Lardner to the position of team physician for the 2019 football season for home football games.
Thank you. May I have a motion on those items, please? So moved. Thank you, Mr. Shigio. May I have a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Carlson. Any discussion on those items? Mr. Boyce?
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mrs. Olson. Mr. Puntilla. Yes. Dr. Seaton.
Yes.
Mrs. Schweitzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Van Horn.
Yes.
Mr. Sergio.
Yes.
Mr. Jess.
I abstain on items 17, 18, and 19, and vote yes on everything else.
Okay, Mrs. Fabrizi.
Moving on to old business. Is there any old business? I would just like to thank Mrs. Gornick, Mrs. Bell, Mrs. Ireland, Mrs. Tribbiani, and Mr. Frame. At the end of our last meeting, myself, Mr. Pantillo, Mr. Carlson met with representatives from the union just to have a little chat, and it was a very good chat. We actually shared some laughs, so I think it was a very good meeting. I'd like to thank everybody for reaching out and for getting together, and we made mention that we're going to try to do this every other month as well, so not necessarily in a school setting, so that we can go out and, maybe have a little dinner or something as well, but it's a nice step in the right direction, and thank you very much.
I just want to add to that and say thank you very much. I think it was very timely and get prepared to do better in the future.
Any other old business? If not, may I have a motion to close old business, please? So moved. Mr. Shigio, may I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Van Horn. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Is there any new business?
I did not get my athletics report, but Dr. Keyes' report kind of reminded me, as committee chair of athletics and activities, the one thing I like to see has to do with our student athletes and our student activity members. And Professor Fuller, thank you for having me at the honor ceremony. I think that was really cool to see all those honorable student athletes and student activity members.
Thank you. Any other new business? There being none, can I have a motion to close the business, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Saden. May I have a second? Thank you, Mrs. Olson. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. We are now open to the public.
I'll go first. Everything is positive. My name is Paul Haynes. I live at 3 White Birch Court in Branchburg. My daughter is currently a freshman here at Somerville High School, and she's a violin player. So I've been advocating to get a strings program started since 2017, and with the help of Mrs. Santangelo, we saw the fruits of that labor tonight. So thank you so much to the Board of Ed for allowing that club to exist. I mean, right now it's a group, it's not a formally accredited club, and we'd love to see that move to that next stage, to become accredited, so we can take advantage of other activities, whether it be for performances, competition, field trips somewhere else. Right now, all of our, we have a zero budget right now, so anything that we're spending right now is out of pocket. But I just wanted to, I wrote down some of my thoughts down here. The club started really as a desire that teams should not give up their string instruments just because Somerville High School doesn't have a strings program, and the club was the start of that, so that we don't have students who go through 6 to 9 years worth of training. I mean, most of those kids that you saw tonight, they all started playing strings as early as the 4th grade. So, the freshmen, they have 6 years of experience. The one senior that we have right now, 9 years worth of string play. So up until the start of this year, there was pretty much nothing. So I think we had a great year starting off by getting 12 students to start playing. This is only done by word of mouth, and I think we had a really good start to that. Like I said, they cover all 4 grades. We meet Thursdays at 6:15 in the morning, and that's so Mrs. Santangelo still has time to be able to get over to Branchburg Central Middle School and still teach a full load for her students at the middle school by giving some type of opportunity for the high school students. So we're fortunate to have Mrs. Santangelo willing to fill in that gap for us, and we're forever so grateful for her. And this would have sounded so much better to have the other students here, but to the students, thank you so much, and Rowan is still here. So Rowan, thank you so much for your hard work and the wee early hours that we get you up in the morning, even though sometimes as parents we have to lovingly sometimes get you out of bed to get moving. But we're so grateful that we have all these parents who have our back in getting this club going. We've not only planned but performed several times this school year. We already played at Bridgewater Mall during the winter time. This coming Sunday, rehab at River's Edge in Raritan, 2 p.m. And everyone's invited to that. There's going to be just the rehab people there, so we would love to have more people come and listen to us play. We also collaborated with Branchburg Central Middle School, which obviously that's where all of our students originally came from. We combined our strings club with their strings club together. So besides being a venue to have those high school students be able to perform for their parents, the joint performances with the middle school encourages those younger students at the middle school to strive to play better. Mrs. Santangelo already got feedback from those students, and wow, they sounded really good. And that encourages them to want to do better. And the club showing up at the middle school proves that there's a path to get from 8th grade in the middle school and have something beyond 8th grade. Because what sometimes happens is you get to 8th grade, or even before 8th grade, kids don't want to do strings, or at the end of 8th grade, they give up because there's nothing else left to do. And you know what happens if we don't give the opportunity to have kids be able to play? What's going to happen? They're going to give it up. I used to play trumpet in 10th grade, and I got to a certain point where I said, you know what, I don't want to play anymore. And I'm really sorry that happened. So that's why I try to advocate so much to get a strings program moving from there. I would love to see strings programs start at Somerville Middle School, and maybe turn this into something else, where maybe there's full instruction, maybe instead of just having a band or a marching band, that maybe there is a full orchestra, but the club is a great start to that. So we want to see our teams succeed in what they know in practice. We enjoy hearing them play at home, but loved hearing them play together. We hope that this goes through high school and then beyond. This encourages, like I said, this encourages our teams to mentor younger string players. We can also be found on Facebook. I started a Facebook page. Easiest way to get to us is SomervilleStringsClub.org. Go there, and it'll take you right over to our Facebook page. And you're willing to join. If you're willing to join that, we'll let you in. You can see the videos of some of our past performances. Currently, we also have 8th grade string players currently at Branchburg Central Middle School. We're hoping we can get our hands on all 8 of them. I can guarantee we got at least 4 of them, if not 5 of them, and I'm hoping to get all 8. So we may lose one senior, but we're going to certainly gain additional players for next year. So we're going to go from a group of 12, and then we're going to add to that too. Again, I'm hoping this club can get to the point where we develop into an accredited club, so that we get beyond the word of mouth, so that we can get on the Somerville High School website on the activities page. And let's just keep moving this forward and growing. I know we started this with 12, but I would like to see this grow so much further and so much greater. And enjoy their performances. It's something brand new, and let's just keep it going. I'm so glad we have band and jazz band and orchestra, but there's something sweet about hearing a strings orchestra playing and hear the classical music. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Please.
Everything he said. I'm just here to add my voice to the parents of the Strings Club.
Before you, I'm sorry, can I ask you
Oh, I'm
just
sorry.
please?
Yeah. I'm Susan Williams. I live at 73 North Branch River Road in Branchburg. Forgot that. Just wanted to add to what he said. It's made a huge difference in Rowan's life. He started in 4th grade, and I thought this is not going to last. It's like, wasted money. But he just kept playing, and he loves it. It's a stress release. It's stimulated, I believe, parts of his brain, and helps him to be great for the kids to come out and have something to look forward to if they're coming out of the strings program in Branchburg. And so it's short, I know it's late, since we're on long, but thank you very much. And thank you, Mrs. Santangelo. And thank you for putting this, all your work into it also. And just want to keep it going. So thanks.
Thank you very much. Anybody else?
I'll go. Very short. I'm Barbara Lawson, 12 Oriole Lane in Branchburg. I'm here with my son Will, who's going to say something real quick. And we would like to thank Ms. Santangelo. She's so fabulous and wonderful. Will loves strings. We paid off that violin. So he'd like to keep using it. So he would like to say something now.
Hi there, I'm Will Lawson. I'm a 7th grade student at BCMS, Branchburg Central Middle School. Strings and the music community as a whole hasn't just been a program. It's almost been a family. You find the friendliest people in this community. And I think it really helps some people mentally and socially. And once that's gone, what's going to be there for them? So I think it can help people in high school. And sometimes middle school can be difficult, so maybe high school can be difficult.
Very well said. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes. Harvard Hall, 22 Caroline Avenue, also several television. I'm excited about this. I think this is great. Now, my mother tried to keep me, get me into this. Unfortunately, there's a competition with Elvis Presley, Crash Domino, something. So I'm learning as I go along since I've been 15 years or so in college. We actually do about 30 symphony orchestras a year, from Plainfield Symphony to the Baroque Orchestra, and of course the Bridgewater, which has many more kids than we have. You know, they have, the first time I sold them, I went in and 150 chairs. And I mean, it's just overwhelming. And I've learned to do so much with and I'm inviting when these kids get out of school to stay around the area, they can help out some of the TV. They understand the music, I can teach them the camera, and then I'll talk my way into a lot of work. I'll just get one right now. One person can't do it all. Thank you very much. And please support them.
Thank you. Ms. Santangelo.
Hi, I'm Regina Santangelo. I live 70 Veterans Memorial Drive East in Somerville, New Jersey. And just a brief add-on, I'm really thankful to the parents who stuck around to speak on behalf of the Strings Club. I would like to acknowledge how thankful I am for the space and being approved as a volunteer to initiate the club this year. I'd like to just emphasize the biggest reason that I wanted to get this going was to motivate my own students, because they've been playing, many of them since 4th grade, and as much as I'd like to try to push them to band and to chorus, which is fantastic, I support those programs fully. In my experience, it's a different set of kids. You know, some of them overlap, but most of them don't. So I'm really just trying to keep music going in their life, and if that means I need to wake up at 5 a.m. once a week to do so, I will do it, because they are so motivated to be there once I arrive. This year I was able to borrow some music from the Branchburg Library and to kind of scrounge around and find some music, but really some funding for the group would be fantastic in making it more successful. I am really directly feeding this program from Branchburg, and the numbers, it's kind of a pyramid. It's only my 2nd year at Branchburg, so the 8th grade class is small, but 7th grade is pretty big, and 6th grade is really huge, and next year all the 6th graders have to choose band, choir, or strings, so the 6th grade is going to be even more huge. So I would really love for this to just be a sustained program. It terrifies me that if something happened to me and I couldn't be here, that this program would just end. So I would just love for it to be a sustained, accredited club that is, funded, so these students know that they have an orchestra to be a part of. So thank you for all of your support.
Anyone else? No? All right, may I have a motion to close the public session, please? Thank you, Mr. Trujillo. May I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Carlson. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
executive session to the extent permitted by law will be made available to the public once the issues are resolved, subject to confidentiality requirements, and action may be taken. May I have a motion, please? Thank you, Mrs. Olson. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Satan. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? And we are going to executive at 9:12.
Thank you.